So, I wanted to talk about things because the U.S. and the world has never been closer to World War in certain respects, and because the last few days of the Obama administration before President-elect Trump takes office, Obama is hell-bent on starting World War III and on igniting conflict with Russia. And it's very dangerous. It's very you know juvenile and unfortunate that our current president was never impeached for his crimes, and that at stands he may, because of that complicity, because of the willingness of the American people to ignore his faults and to ignore the danger he was of his character and of his intentions. We may literally lose the nation. It's, I mean, you've had all this stuff come out about the Russian hacking, of course, all this, these attacks that Russia hacked the U.S., even though there's no evidence that, there was, they haven't produced any evidence that the Russia did anything. And, it's now who said this? The same, Clapper, James Clapper, John Brennan, and these are the same people that were, forwarded the line of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, of, all this bull that has been used to justify imperial policy from the United States towards the Middle East and towards the world. And at this point it doesn't fly. Most Americans do not recognize this as truth and think that they're being lied to, and that's part of the reason why Trump won the election, because Hillary Clinton bemoaning the aggressive actions of Russia doesn't exactly speak to her willingness to bridge gaps with diplomacy. Right? This is the thing that 70%. There's a new poll where 70% of Americans believe that they're being lied to by U.S. or what is it? 70% believe that WikiLeaks will give them the correct intelligence, and 30% believe that U.S. intel officials. Right? And who do you believe? U.S. intel or WikiLeaks? And most people believe WikiLeaks, and they don't believe U.S. intelligence. So that shows that America has wisely decided not to trust the terrible intelligence that they're being fed through the mass media. And that's good, but so we're at this point where it's very critical to intervene and to change the course of history and to work to bridge gaps with Russia and with China, and especially with Russia, considering all they've been through in the recent period. And the Schiller Institute chorus gave presented the U.S. national anthem and the Russian national anthem at the Teardrop Memorial, which is a memorial given by Russia to the United States on the anniversary of 9/11, for the memorial of 9/11. And so it's sort of fitting that we give a memorial to them in song at this place in response to the tragedy of both their ambassador being killed and of this plane crash, this Russian carrying many prominent Russian individuals, or the famous Andropov chorus, and many other individuals, and the loss of life for Russia. So that was given. That was is a beautiful thing. I would encourage anyone to who hasn't seen it to watch it. It's a moving experience, and as I was saying, to the danger. The U.S. is moving tanks into Germany, troops. Right, we're deploying an aircraft carrier to Asia. That is going to be one of the last actions of the Obama administration. right, to deploy military forces into key areas to instigate conflict. We're not there to keep the peace, right? We're there to impose our will, or attempt to anyway. And that's the danger. You can't, if a nation doesn't want to be kept in servitude, there is a limit to the imperial ability to do that. And these are impotent gestures, and they're just gonna be immediately retracted, if not end in terrible loss in life. So it's astonishing, considering what's happening now, that Obama was never impeached. The crimes that he committed with drones, with spying, with presiding over the bombing of and brutal murder of Gaddafi. This is not a peaceful man who has who, and his Nobel Peace Prize is almost should be in effect a prize of war, and that's not anything to be proud of. So yeah, I mean and our last action, we're forming in South Korea a kill unit designed to go after the Kim Jong-un leadership, and that's insane. You can't bully a foreign power into doing what you feel is best for you. You have to look to bridge the gap with diplomacy. So it's just crazy, and hopefully South Korea decides to dump this policy, because they're changing governments, and the new incoming government does not have the same policy. They don't want the THAAD missile system. They don't want this kill unit. They want to work on diplomacy through relations with China, and through bilateral, and through talks with China and North Korea to bridge the gap and form some understanding. So the economy is still terrible. It's just China is looking to expand the Silk Road to Africa, giving them development, speaking there. As China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi is on a trip to Africa, speaking there and offering them loans. The Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank has offered loans to many of these countries that are not like the IMF, and where they have conditions on them, and where they sometimes would just give them money and then up the usurious interest rate in order to basically get control of their government, or leverage on their government. But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. I mean, there's an interesting movie that's coming out. The was it Hidden Figures? The African American women scientists and engineers who took Americans to space. And I definitely I'm looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully, I'll be able to post a review online at some point. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that, and to seeing how it. Mozart, #1 on top 10 charts in 2016 as far as CDs sold. Shows that despite the bad culture that we're awash with, that there is a tendency towards the beautiful in the American population. So I mean, what I really wanted to stress is that the way we're going to have to defeat this imperial policy and this danger of war is with beauty. And it's going to be. I mean, if we don't, I've been thinking of this analogy of there's civilizations that were in the islands near of the Pacific, that or the Philippines, or not the Philippines, near the Philippines, I think the Caribbean islands. You could you could go still into the 1900s and find evidence of lost civilizations, just little things here and there, and long that tens of thousands of years after they've gone away. And I think that you're looking like, what is if the U.S. destroys it, if the world destroys itself, if humanity has that that will, or doesn't have the desire to live and to prosper and to give the courage to give something better to the next generation than simply war and whatever, or or along with small things that are meant to bribe them, like a car, or some you give them a computer, you give them whatever, right? That's and then you also ensure that they can't have economic survival. It's like you're focusing on the material thing that you're giving them, but that's not really what you're giving them. And so if we don't want to be a civilization that a billion years from now some alien race comes down and finds the battered remnants of just a few crumbs from what our civilization was, then we should intervene. We should ensure that Obama doesn't remain a day more in office, or doesn't and doesn't ignite world war. So that's my thoughts. I'm definitely gonna be trying to make some more calls to call Congress, and maybe call a few contacts that I haven't talked to in God knows how long, and as well as be making more videos and doing what I can, trying to expand what I can do. Other people should do the same. So yeah, hope to see you all in the future.